Peavey Combo organ being the search. I'm finding Roland VK77 organ, Peavey Combo amps. I'd say what we have here is an extremely rare piece of musical apparatus. The Peavey Combo organ that we got in that Tucson. I gotta call Peavey and see if they even have any recollection of such a thing. It's a little dirty right now. I figure we'll get, you know, the look of it before we start working on it here. This is quite the thing. Peavey logo back there, and it's got a missing fuse holder. So we can't just check it out, but we'll open it up and look inside. Does anything here look familiar? Key movement, interconnects, the types of capacitors used, the wood used here. This looks very familiar. Let's look back at some Teisco organ videos, and I think you'll see some similar characteristics here. This is the guts of the Peavey Combo organ. It's got a lot of cards in there, and look at that. I don't have to go digging for the fuse holder. Alright. Well, we'll pop it in there and see. I'll have to recheck for impedances on shorted capacitors and things, but well, that's good, because I think we have a scrap Teisco in storage in case we need a key. One of these keys is, I probably can fix it. See, it's kind of not so good there. Yeah, anyway, other than that, this thing looks like it's in okay shape, really, and wow, what a rare gem. Alrighty. Wow, this might turn out to be pretty easy. I cleaned off, it was bad copper, somebody spilled or something, and fortunately, right where it's not populated on each card, there's nothing there. This one had some bad solder, the F-sharp, but this is typical of Teisco stuff also. These tiny little transistors. Saw that on another one, had to replace a couple of them. But this one just needed some resoldering around the coil. It had a cold joint there that you couldn't see, but it cleared it right up when we got that. The ESR still measured good on the cap, and so I think, you know, these things have amazing lifespan, these capacitors, in some of these Japanese machines. This type is a pretty good capacitor usually, in my experience. Well, let's fire it up here. I got the keys bent too to where I was propping that so that the note would be held down. I could tell when I fixed it. But if the keys get whanged up like that one did, you just get under here and bend these metal pieces on the Teiscos. There's one that needs bending right there, actually. We'll take the needle nose and pry it around a bit. That's better. Okay. Get them all level. Ah, very good. Well, let's get this thing put back together. That's the underside of it. That's what everything looks like. You have to pull a couple screws here and there to get that side, and there's 3 screws holding each thing underneath the whole machine. And Paul's starting to groove out on the Peavey here as he gets familiar with it. He's getting familiar with this unit. Volume thing is strange. We've got a problem with the volume. It's interacting, and they turn at once too. You can't spin just one of them sometimes. Sometimes you can. I got to work on that concentric control there, figure out why it's interactive. It should split them. Yeah, makes that one way loud. Of course, if you want, we can go back to the effects processor too. Let me switch you on to some effects here. Okay. Well, you can do it here. Just go like that. Oh, you can change the effects on the thing.
Can I get more volume out of the bottom though? That's what I'm looking for. This thing is really cranks up, but how do I get this steeple?
Yeah, you do that and hold this one while you turn this one down.
Get the radio again.
Yeah, because that's cranked up to astronomical volumes. I can't turn one at a time with one hand.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, that's a nice effect for it. Yeah, that's a nice effect for it.
Yeah, we got a lot of
we're gonna send him away with a Farfisa Deluxe, a Crumar T1 and a gem today, as well as what?
Bob, you gotta get this part.
I think that's all.
That's really cool.
Yes, yes.
It's like a ham.
Yep. Long sustain.
I really like that.
Yeah, you can definitely get a lot of tones out of it. Got to fix that volume though. Some modifications done here. I mean, I knew this was hokey looking. I thought maybe somebody just, replaced those for some reason, but they probably added those resistors to modify these are the sections that are coming from this interconnect down here. On here we've got a preamp that takes the signal back from it, or used to, and amplifies it into what then goes to the output, to your output jack. They had rerouted that. They cut the wire off that, routed it to a coaxial cable that came up here, and they put another coax back from the combined, I mean, it was a slish-slosh thing where it fed through one to the other somehow here. I don't know how, I haven't even figured out what they did there, but it was somehow feeding both through, but it was interactive. The two volumes were not independent, as you saw before. And that they fed back to there through a coax. But anyway, they had a branch coming off here, which one of them went to this, and one of them went down to the preamp. Then out to that coax, which it was a loop. It made no sense. Anyway, it works much better now. We've got independent volume controls now that this is wired conventionally with a combining leg there on the two pots, and then the section coming from here and the section coming from the drawbars coming into the other pot, so the middle of the other pot. So the two centers have the signals from the drawbar, the tabs and the drawbars, and they combine into one signal that then goes back to the preamp and then back out straight like it was intended from the factory, I'm sure. This orange tape was a giveaway. They had the coaxes coupled through that, and they had orange tape over the connection down there, so I'm sure everything was done by somebody who just modified it because the volume pot got stuck, most likely, and that was their way around it. So anyway, that pretty much concludes that. Now we can put it back together and play it some more. I think it's still kind of noisy. I could put a shield over this section. It picks up a lot of antenna noise, and you put a shield over this and it quiets it down. Well, the Peavey is putting a little shield down there, and I think it helps some, but still getting a little radio station when I touch that. I gotta ground that better before I close it, but let's demonstrate the fill of facilities here. I got the, I made a goop on the side of that, made a clay mold and fixed that slider cap. So it's got some very thin high end there. Yeah, fairly limited selection of voicings. $16 wood, 8 wood, 8 brass, and then you get a 4 iron, and you know, anyway, no.
Yeah.
8 string. Yeah. They just put 2 footages on there, but Paul the vibrato goes fairly fast, very limited tuning range, very limited tuning range. And I've got these isolated, and I think they turn. Uh-oh, it still caught a little bit. It went bump and moved just a little bit. I tapped and lubed and did everything I could. Yeah, there it moved, okay. Intermittently catches a little bit still. It's pretty good. I think with use it'll come right along and it'll stop moving that one. You move the top one and it's independent. It doesn't move the bottom, but the bottom moves the top. Yeah, there it goes. It cranked it all the way up when I moved it there. Still at certain angles it catches it. Anyway, so we'll get that finished out, but yeah, that's the Peavey Combo organ. I'm going to stick this video up tonight and see if anybody turns up any information on it. The guy who runs Combo Organ site on Yahoo, Robert McNutt, says he's never heard of any such thing. The guy there who knows quite a few Teisco organs said he's never seen a Teisco organ with an odd footage. It's got a 2 2/3 there, so it's a strange duck. And through effects, it sounds pretty good. It's turn the volume down so it's distorting on the amp.
There you go.
So the sustainer kind of blends in with this mashy kind of. Anyway, yeah, it's keys fall pretty easy. It's my fat fingers don't work well with this keyboard, but anyway, yeah, that's the Peavey organ.